soon as I heard it, I said, yeah, I know you're doing the 280, Jerry did the
Good evening. I first want to tell you thank you so much for everyone that has came out this evening. The outpouring of love and support for YETTA has just been remarkable. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Pam Romero. I'm actually the athletic director at Dr. Joaquin Garcia High School. But more importantly, I am a dear friend to YETTA GREENE for many, many years. I've known YETTA since I was actually a teenager, so it just warms my heart that I have this opportunity to help put this evening together for her. So a couple of words I would like to share. Today we come together representing so many groups, as you can see. I actually am just in awe of so many of my former coaches and former teachers that are here that I've gotten to enjoy seeing this evening. So it just shows you the longevity that she has reached and how many people that she has touched through her 52-year legacy. For 52 years, YETTA has given her heart and soul to the school district of Palm Beach County. Her name is a household name, a brand, and a legacy that has touched generations. When people hear YETTA GREENE, they don't just think of athletics. They think of dedication, compassion, and a profound commitment to students, staffs, and families. On behalf of everyone here and all of those who have been fortunate enough to learn from her, work alongside her, and be uplifted by her, we say thank you. You are forever, and we have termed, with the help of Jim Howe, you the godmother of athletics. Because had it not been for you, athletics would not be standing in Palm Beach County as it is today. I would like to make sure that I thank Dr. Armis, Jim Howe, and his entire staff for hosting us here this evening at They opened the doors for us without hesitation, helped me put all of this together in a short amount of time. So thank you to Dr. Armis, Jim Howe, and their staff. The chicken dinner, I just want to comment on that for a second. That's kind of like bringing it back old schools, because those of you that are sitting here, many of you that have been doing this job longer than I have, and I'm on my 23rd year as an AD, this was a term of fellowship that we all just loved and looked forward to every single year that YETTA would put together, and we called it the chicken dinner. So when I was thinking of food, Jim called and he's like, what about the chicken dinner? I'm like, perfect, that is YETTA GREENE. So I'm hoping that you enjoyed your chicken this evening, because that's also a testament of what she used to do for us. At this time, I would like to bring up our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Mike Burke.
Thank you, Pam. It's an honor to be here this evening. Again, Mike Burke, Superintendent. I joined the school district in 1998, so about 27 years ago, which I know is not much compared to 52 years. But one of the first people I had the pleasure of meeting was Ms. YETTA GREENE, and it was kind of funny. One of my initial assignments was I was in the budget department, and they put me in charge of the summer school budget. So I convened like one of my first meetings, and we kicked off preparation for summer school. And then a few years later, well, actually several years later, I would bump into Miss Green, typically late at night. Like we'd be like the only two people to fold handle and at 9 o'clock at night, you know, in the stairwell or something. I'd always be kind of surprised and startled to run into somebody. I would be like working on the budget. I wasn't usually working that late frequently, right? But every now and then I had a need to work late. And every time I worked late, Yetta worked later. Somehow I would bump into her. But I ran into her one time and she goes, I remember when you first started. And she's like, you didn't know much about summer school, but you were friendly enough, and I figured you were going to be okay. So that turned out to be very profound wisdom from Miss Green, because I didn't know a whole lot about summer school. I was doing my job, and thankfully, people like her helped me get through it. But you talk about the godmother of athletics. That's a really important part of what we all do. You know, as superintendent, I'm proud of our athletic programs. I've tried to do everything I can to support them, and I'm proud we've got 14 state champions this year. You know, and I think that does a lot to separate public schools from people's other options, whether it's private or charter or homeschool or virtual, whatever. We can provide that complete experience, and athletics is a big piece of that. And I want people to have school spirit, get excited about their teams. Ms. Green, you've certainly done your part to put us on the map here in Palm Beach County. I'm trying to think of so much I want to talk about. I should have written it down. But we are just in all of your service. One cool thing I get to do as superintendent, each spring we have a retiree breakfast. And we invite all of our retirees to come and we kind of wish them well. And what's pretty amazing to me is we invite every retiree in Palm Beach County. And I don't think we get this many people coming out. So, yeah, one person has filled this cafeteria. It's pretty impressive. I think if you look, you know, it's got to make you feel good. You look back to all these people that care about you. And yeah, you're going to have to come join us for the event this spring. It'll be in May. Because part of that annual retiree ceremony, some of you have probably been through it. Right? One of the things we normally do is we say, okay, stand up if you got 25 years. You know, keep standing if you got 30 years. I've never seen somebody get to 52 years. It usually fizzles out maybe in the early 40s. So I'm pretty sure you're going to take home the gold. And I have the honor this evening of presenting you, and I understand this is one of your own traditions, that when an athletic director retires, you award them with a clock. So the group here, Ms. Romero, has arranged to return that favor to you. So we have a beautiful clock here. It says, Yetta Greene, the godmother of athletics, in recognition of 52 years of service, School District Palm Beach County, with deepest gratitude, graduate, and appreciation. 2025. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate it. If you may say a few words. It's now my honor to introduce one of our school board members, Ms. Erica Whitfield. Ms. Whitfield.
Thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure to be able to be here and recognize Yetta. I have worked in the district now coming up on 15 years, but my first job working in the district was right down the hall from Yetta's office. So I had the opportunity to see her in action and hear about the legend that is Yetta Greene. I was able to go down and visit many times, and like Mr. Burke said, I'd come in on the weekends and I would always find her in her office. She works, I think, every day of the week and every minute of the day. And no matter when I would come in, I would get to see her there working. I think you're the hardest working person in the entire district. And one time I came in and I was completely lost and I couldn't find anything, and we went on our mission together to go look for the thing that I can't even remember what it was, but in that moment I felt so lucky to have Yetta as a friend because she was ready to help, and that's how I know how everybody in this room feels, which is why everybody has showed up tonight and people were talking about, are you going to go to Yetta Greene celebration, because this is truly a momentous experience to have somebody who's been with us for so long and done so much. And I really think the person who needs to be up here speaking is not me, who's known you for a long time and loves you, but the people in this room that were working with you in athletics. I was hearing about it in the community. People would say, oh, you work at the district, do you know Yetta? And I was like, actually, I do. And she is a force and also very messy. If you go in her office, there was just piles would call and she would say, I need you for this game and please come out, and no one told her no because they respected her so much and the work that she did. So I just want to be here tonight to really thank you and honor you and the work that you've done for Palm Beach County. One of my taglines that I always say to the people who work in this district is thank you for everything you've done for the children of Palm Beach County. You have done more than most and more than we could ever hope for. Excuse me, I'm getting a little bit choked up from this. She has done so much for the children of Palm Beach County, and my children are better for it, all of our children are better for it, and the district is better for it. So thank you, Yetta, I appreciate it. I think I'm supposed to bring somebody up, but I'm not sure. Mr. Justin Harrison, Associate Executive Director of the Florida High School Athletics Association. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Yet an incredible time, and I appreciate it. And if I may, I want to extend the thanks from the state level. I'm Justin Harrison. For those who have not had the opportunity to meet, I'm the Associate Executive Director over Officials. Been on staff since 2008. Anybody came up to our office, I immediately booked a hotel so I can come down and be a part of this. So the experience you have with YETTA here in Palm Beach County is what we have here at the actual state level. She's a trailblazer, she's tremendous. It was always good to work with YETTA directly, and I do want to share a good story. Back in the old days, I call it, at least for my time coming on staff in the mid-2000s, we used to do score reporting, and either by email or by phone call. And so I will tell you, the Palm Beach scores were the first ones to come in. And it was interesting because as a sport administrator for years, one of the hardest things was to get the game results for playoffs because that would set up the next round. And as you know, those school-based folks here in the room, you need to know that information as quick as you can because you're getting a bus, you got a game in 2 days, you're traveling now 3 hours this way. So getting scores, before, the social media and all these score reporting sites and stuff like that was a tremendous task. And as a sport administrator, it was significantly tough. Palm Beach County was always the first one to get them in, and that's because of Miss Green here. She was tremendous, and what Superintendent Burke said was absolutely true because we would reply and say, hey, do you happen to know the score somewhere else? No matter the time of night, she would reply within minutes. And I was like, okay, do you know what's happening up in the Pensacola area? So, your time is cherished. We greatly appreciate everything from the state level. On behalf of Mr. Damon and the FGSA Board of Directors, happy retirement, and again, we cannot thank you enough. And now I'd like to bring up Mr. Eric Stern, Physical Health and Graduation Administrator.
Hey guys, wow. Good evening, hi Yetta. I'm the PE guy and the graduation guy. Many of you know me in those roles. Hi David, I see you. So I met Yetta 20 years ago when I came from New York, and many of you know that I had quite a few roles in New York City Public Schools before I came here, and I met Yetta in the district office, and she was like, it'll be less than a year and our chance is going to promote you to do something different. Well, almost 20 years later, I'm still in my same role, doing what I do, which is good. And one thing that Yetta can tell you is, in the middle of the night, she leave my favorite snacks on my desk. It's one snack. Yetta, what's my favorite snack? Tootsie Rolls. I love Tootsie Rolls. So she will leave in my computer a little calling card from Yetta Greene. But in all seriousness, I'm going to reflect back to 1971. 1971 was the year I was born. It was also pretty much the year that Walt Disney expanded to Florida, opened Disney World in Florida in 1971. And Marvin Gaye had that great hit song. Remember that song? What's going on? Right? He had that great hit song. I think the first video arcade game came out in 1971. But more importantly, Billie Jean King was the first female to reach the $100,000 mark in 1971 earnings on the tour. And then something happened also. I think the Beatles released a John Lennon Imagine was a really popular song. And then on October 26, 1971, you know what happened? Yetta Greene started the school district of Palm Beach County. So a lot of memorable things in 1971, but that is the most memorable thing that I can remember in 1971. But in all seriousness, as everybody said before me, no one works harder. I thought I worked hard. not even close to what you do or what you did. But all sincerely, you're a friend, you're a colleague, you've been a mentor, you've been a person that I've cried on your shoulder, and you've cried on my shoulder, but you've always been there for the teachers, coaches, administrators, and everybody that lived in Palm Beach County. So thank you for your 52 years of service. Appreciate that. The next, I invite the man who hired me in the school district of Palm Beach County, former Superintendent Dr. Art Johnson and current Principal and AP Consultant who runs their association. Dr. Johnson?
Thank you, Eric. Good evening, everyone. In 1985, I was principal of Boca High School. Cal Taylor walked in my office and said, "You're going to Spanish River." Who's in charge now? Because Bill Pender had left. He said, "Yetta Greene." I said, "Really?" So I got to Spanish River and I met with Yetta and I said, "Yetta, I understand you're in charge." And she says, "Absolutely not. You are big guy." So, in the years that I worked with Yetta at Spanish River, which was 10 years consecutively, I probably learned more about her than most of you because it was continuous every single day. And yes, she's the hardest working person in Palm Beach County. I have seen her pull 2-day non-stop shifts where she'd come in on Friday, do the game, stay all night, work through Saturday, work through Sunday, and be there Monday morning. I never asked whether she slept under her desk, on her desk, or where she slept, maybe in the clinic. But I can tell you, I could never break her from doing that. But I did appreciate it because she always got so much done in that period of time. Some of the things that I think are most noteworthy about, let's start with academics, which is the #1 thing for our school district, teaching how to read, write, count, and behave. Was responsible when I was principal at Spanish River for doing a lot of the screening and a lot of the hiring of personnel, including coaches. The result of that, which they would come to me as a recommendation, I would make it. We had in that 10-year period a tremendous faculty. As a matter of fact, that faculty dominated the district in terms of academic achievement on all of the state tests. And the same thing was true with sports and extracurricular activities. In the 10 years that I was there, we had 30 state and national championships in different sports and different activities that we were involved in. So a tremendous amount of that credit goes to Yetta. The next thing that she was really good at, which may surprise you, and that's student discipline, safety and security. Yetta might be small, but Yetta has a presence. And there have been times when students who got in trouble, rather than dealing with Yetta, they would rather deal with May Collins or me. Because they knew that Yetta was good, a real stick guy, and she was going to let them know in certain terms that she was really disappointed in what they had done. So she is an all-around educator, is able to handle everything in the school. The last thing I want to say to you, and I'm going to say to her as well, is this is a time to consider retirement. And we all reach that in our life. I've been fighting it for years, okay? But Yetta, this is a time I've learned in my life there's 3 things that are really important if you want to be successful and happy. #1 is your health. #2 is your family. And #3 is time. Time is not infinite, it's finite. It will go away eventually. And in your life, you have your health. And the school community has been your family. So find ways to continue to assist. Either you can sub, you can mentor, you can simply be involved, because I know that we would appreciate that. And the other thing that is really important is that you take time right now to make sure that you do all the things that you've never had an opportunity to do because you were stuck in your office all night. Whether that's read books, whether that's take vacations, whether that's go out with your friends, whether that's get a boyfriend. this is the time for you to really enjoy your life. Take time to do that. It's my pleasure now to introduce a colleague and friend who was a great teacher, a great assistant principal, and a great principal, Larry Clausen.
And I really appreciate you having me come up after Dr. J. I'm going to stand behind the podium so I can read, but because I'm the only one that wore shorts. I told Pam when she called me, I said, I'd love to talk. I said, but Pam, I don't have dress clothes anymore. I've been retired. All I do is play golf and babysit. So, but for YETTA, I probably would have put on long pants. I just want to say good afternoon to coaches, special guests, and many, many, many old friends. When I was asked to say a few words for YETTA's retirement, I was honored. Because she truly is an amazing woman. In 1997, I got my first assistant principal's job here, at John I. Leonard High School. I'd been a coach and an athletic director at Christopher McAuliffe Middle School, so I had heard of YETTA GREENE, but I'd never met her. So when I came to John I. Leonard, Nora was the principal, she said, your office is going to be in the old cafeteria right next to YETTA's. I was like, I get to be next to the legendary YETTA GREENE. Wow. I tell you, in those early years, I learned so much from YETTA. I can't thank you enough for everything that you taught me. But I got to understand what she actually did for Palm Beach County Athletics. Well, after a few years, it's crazy being in this big, beautiful cafeteria. Our old cafeteria was going to be demolished. I think in my time, I went through 2 modernizations here at John A. Leonard, and then finally, after I left, I got this beautiful building. So when they were going to demolish the cafeteria, YETTA and I got moved to a portable out in the old bus loop. One portable, YETTA and I. And my respect for what she did grew tremendously during that time, because her phone never stopped ringing all day long. Coaches, principals, officials, and YETTA called every one of them back. And I can't tell you how many of your M&Ms and pretzels that when you were doing cafeteria duty, I was over there eating. YETTA is truly, her legend is truly remarkable, because she was not only fulfilling her responsibilities as a full-time assistant principal, she was also the district's full-time athletic director. Think about that. That's 2 full-time jobs. When you hear Dr. J, Mike Burke, and everyone talking about YETTA was, 10, 11 o'clock, the custodians used to come tell me, Miss Clausen, I can't get her to go home. We got to lock up. And that was YETTA. And it didn't matter if it was Saturday, Sunday, it didn't matter. Eventually, YETTA and I both left John I. Leonard. But when I became principal of Palm Beach Gardens High School, our friendship picked up right away. Like we never left each other. But after being the principal of Palm Beach Gardens High School for a few years, my good friend, who's in the back, who I didn't get a chance to say hi to yet, Nate Collins, who was the president of Palm Beach County Athletic Association, was going to retire. And he pulled me aside and he said, Larry, I want you to take my job, my position. You sure, Nate? He said, yes. And I want you to make sure that you always have YETTA's back. So YETTA, during those years, we had some pretty challenging times. We went through some stuff, I'll leave it there. But I want you to know that I was always your biggest supporter, and I always had your back. YETTA, your time, dedication, and commitment to Palm Beach County School District will never be matched. Thank you for all you've done, and I wish you a happy and healthy retirement. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to welcome Mark Diatley, East Coast Basketball assignment. I hope I got that right.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Mark Gatley, and I've served as the basketball assigner for East Coast basketball officials for about 25 years now. When Pam Rivera requested that I speak today, I actually began drafting my remarks on a computer. However, because this event honors YETTA, I thought it would be much more appropriate to use a legal pad. This was Ms. Greene's method used to distribute schedules to the officials at meetings prior to the days of arbiter. I made the switch to the legal pad, and now I appreciate if you would bear with me because I have a hard time reading my writing. Articulating YETTA's impact on the officiating community is a challenging endeavor. For decades, YETTA played a pivotal role in shaping middle and high school sports within Palm Beach County. This influence stems from a deep appreciation of the responsibilities held by officials in the broader context of the athletics. YETTA's effective collaboration with various officiating groups throughout the county has been central to establishing Palm Beach County sports as a standard of excellence for others to emulate. YETTA and I have spent years on the phone together between November and March. We speak morning, noon, night, and late night, recapping the day's events and reviewing the game plans for the following day. The only time we wouldn't talk would be 10:30 p.m. That slot was reserved for her system. Many of our conversations take place late night when I'd be on my way home from work or traveling from a game somewhere, and they usually would continue after my arrival in the driveway with the garage door open. Oftentimes it may take me an hour to get into the house, but I always took comfort in knowing my wife was aware I was home, as she could hear YETTA and I brainstorming all the way in the bedroom. 30 years ago, when I started as a basketball official, the anticipation at our meetings grew as the meeting got closer to the end, because this is when YETTA would arrive with the schedule for the next 2 weeks. This was at the old John Idlener. And once the schedules were handed out, the rest of the night was a give and take of I can do this game, I can't do that game. But when all was said and done, we walked out with our marching orders. It wasn't the end of the process for YETTA though. For 40 years, every schedule changed from buses breaking down, leaky gyms, sick teams, and scheduling errors, to excuses like I'm caught at work, or I forgot it's my anniversary tonight, or my cat died. The million and one other excuses YETTA went to YETTA with the expectation that she would fix the situation like it was nothing. With the officiating shortages over the past 10 years, and most notably the last 2 or 3, I've agonized for hours and hours trying to cover games on a particular day. And I'm not proud to say that there are more times than I care to admit that I've been stumped and fearful that many games will need to be canceled. YETTA always works with me, and many times without me, to just make it happen. Making sure that the students and the student athletes get their chance to play. When it comes to being a fixer, Olivia Pope and Ray Donovan have nothing on YETTA. Most officials, and maybe a few ADs, have experienced a scolding or two from Ms. Greene. Sometimes gentle, sometimes not so much. Often delivered in response to a mistake or a lapse in personal responsibility. Ms. Greene's background as an English teacher ensured that valuable lessons were imparted. Over time, being the recipient of her wisdom has come to be regarded as both a rite of passage and a mark of respect. What YETTA has done for the school district over 52 years can never be overstated or duplicated by a single person. She's dedicated her life to Palm Beach County sports, the development of athletic directors, the administration of all things sports related, and making sure that student athletes and mathletes got their opportunities to compete. However, there will always be a special bond with the thousands of officials she has worked with over the years. Thank you for everything you've done for us. You are so much a part of what we do and who we are. And I look forward to the future continuing our work together and keeping my wife up late nights. Thanks, you. By the way, I have all my phone numbers and everything. YETTA's new numbers. If you grab a piece of copy on your way out the door. Okay?
Our next speaker that I'd like to welcome up is Mr. Ronnie Wood from the East Coast Football Association.
had to use my phone, so I didn't use the notebook. So, good evening, everyone. First things first, I'd like for everybody to stand up. Stand up. Everybody stand up. Yetta, I would like for you to come to the front. Okay. I'll do a little different. Okay, come up here, Yetta. Come on, you go big with me. All right. I would like for everybody to give Yetta a 52-second, well-deserved standing ovation for what she's done. So that is 52 years, 1 second for every year, for dedication for the ADs, the coaches, the athletic directors, and also includes sports officials. So thank you. So when I was asked, or told, maybe told might be a better word, understand it, to speak at Yetta's event, the answer was obvious. Of course I said yes. That's why I'm standing here tonight. I need everybody to remain standing, please. Remain standing. You're not sitting down yet. We're gonna have a little fun here. We're gonna have a little fun. Right? So now's where the fun begins, gentlemen. Okay? All right, now, let me ask all of you out there, if you have ever been on the receiving end of one of Yetta's famous ass chewing, now you can sit down. So, if you're still standing, you're either here for the free food, or you might be in the wrong room. I don't know. The truth of the matter is, it's kind of like a marriage. Once you understood and realized the passion that Yetta had for the student athlete of Palm Beach County, you began to see her in a whole new light. It might have taken you 3 to 5 years to fully appreciate what she has done. Once you knew it, it came from a place of love for her. That passion, that fight, is the very reason we're all here tonight. Okay? To honor Yetta and everything she has given to this community. Yetta's heart is bigger than most. She just doesn't care about the games. She cares the wins, the losses. She cares about people, all of us. She cares, takes the time to get to know your wives, girlfriends, husbands, boyfriends, your kids. She's always willing to step in and help, even with family matters, if asked. That wasn't part of her job description. That was who Yetta is. So tonight, we don't just honor her career, we honor her love, her loyalty, her legacy in Palm Beach County. Yetta, from all of us, thank you. I'd like to bring up, sorry about that, guys. Vince Holmes, Travell, and Jeff Keller. We have a look. Yetta, you can come back up front here, please. Come back up. Come up here. We're gonna get some pics.
I've never been known to be a fight. Myself as president, Vince Holmes as vice president, Travell Northern as the previous president, Ronnie Wood as our training coordinator, and the thousands of football officials that have been on the fields and in the schools for the 52 years that Yetta's been here. We just wanted to give her a small memento of our appreciation that she can hang on her wall and look at. And it says, for her many years of dedicated service, the East Coast Football Officials Association presents these stripes to our forever honorary official, Yetta Greene.
And next speaker, I'm glad I went before this guy, Coach Ed Whitman.
As you get older, you typically have to wear glasses to read your notes. If you umpire long enough, your vision gets so good you take them off. I had the good fortune to work with Yetta Greene and Tony Leonard, Spanish River, and the district office. We shared so many experiences when she started right here. I have experience teaching, being administrator, and then later in coaching and officiating. Never have I ever seen Yetta Greene let somebody down. Never. She's always available and helpful. During her 50-plus years, I have witnessed her intelligence, her thoughtfulness, her understanding, her capacity to adjust, to ensure in so many different issues, situations, that competency and completion always in helping students, fellow teachers, administrators, athletic directors, coaches, and officials, and principals. She always helped them get it done, fair and right. I first met Yetta at Leonard when she joined the faculty after the school year had began, teaching English and Latin. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, she's really sharp. Our relationship with her students was always outstanding, whether she was in a class or a club. I have seen her patience teaching antecedents in her construction of paper flowers for classes, floats. As an activity director, she can manipulate a schedule to include everyone's concerns and deadlines. From ordering class rings to organizing summer school or graduation ceremonies. I have seen Yetta direct coaches to build a fair schedule, insisting that all conference schools were included. As a president of an officials association, I have witnessed the same direction for the distribution of officials, so that all schools got the opportunity to see the best. Behind the scenes, I have seen Yetta's concern and compassion for people, helping them in times of need, whether financially, so they could get their cars fixed, pay their rent, or even pay for funerals. Never was this a part of her job, but she did it because Yetta is Yetta. While planning for this celebration, I spoke with several former students who recall leaving school around 8:30 p.m. after band practice and saying, "Mr. Whipple, did you know Yetta's still at school?" I did.
Later, that same individual became an event director and noted her habit hadn't changed. He once said to me, Yetta Green never had a job. Yetta Green never had a job. She had a calling. While encouraging former faculty member, coach, and official to attend this event, as he now lived out of town, as we caught up with one another, he said, our granddaughter is now a cheerleader, and we attend every one of her events. Last year, we went to 6 different sites where there was no game, no contest. Either a school didn't show up, or the officials didn't show up. In one case, no teams were there. I said, wow. And his response was, Ed, we don't have it yet. It's understood there's not an official in this room who has not received a call from YETTA changing an assignment or asking him to do double because someone's car broke down or there was a delay from a bus or whatever the issue was. But she always got a yes answer because YETTA needed to have it done for the kids. She does have a calling. That's all she ever had. People may doubt what you say, but they will always believe what you do. Yes, YETTA worked a lot of hours. But I want you to see this focus. It's not how many hours she worked. It's how much she got done in those hours. YETTA Green is in the John Allen Hall of Fame. She's in the Palm Beach County Sports Hall of Fame. And in November, I am nominating her for the Florida High School Athletic Association. When we were putting this event together, so many people asked, what can I do to help? Well, I'm going to tell you, after November, those of you who want to help, I need at least 3 letters for Florida High School. I think we can get them out of this room. So I'd really appreciate that if I contact you in November and you eagerly provide one of those letters. I am so pleased to be a friend of YETTA Green. YETTA, you are the best.
Is it because I'm too short? I think so. I would like to introduce Ms. Fran Thu. She's a former teacher here at Johnny Leonard High School.
Thank you, Pam. And I'd like to thank Pam for organizing this amazing event. You've heard so much good things about YETTA that I'm not going to come up here and talk about YETTA. But a lot of people have asked as we were going through this, what can we do for YETTA? What would she like to do? And I remembered all the scholarships that she has organized. The scholarship for Pat Enfant, the scholarship for her mother, the scholarship for my mother, and just the generous heart that she has had for everybody that she meets. And so we came up with the idea that why don't we do a scholarship in YETTA's name for the scholar athlete. It kind of combines her love of education and her love of the athletics and how much time and how much of her life has been dedicated to all of this. So we've collected almost $3,000 in up to this point, but that doesn't mean it's over with. We'd like this to be a continuing scholarship. So if you didn't bring your money today, or if you'd like to contribute next year, or the year after that, if you want to keep this going, just send the check to John I. Leonard. They have the fund here, and make it out on a memo line to the YETTA GREENE Scholarship Athletic Fund. And we'll keep YETTA's legend going for a lot longer here in Palm Beach County. The other thing I wanted to mention is I've been reading, a lot of you here have posted on our secret Facebook page for celebrating the retirement of YETTA, which we'll open and let you see it now. She hasn't seen any of the amazing things that you have said to her. It will be open, it will become public tomorrow so that anybody can read it. And you won't, it's still to post, you'll have to request to be a member of the group so that we make sure that it's somebody who's posting legitimately and not one of those social media trolls out there that would just don't even know who YETTA is. But it'll become available, and I believe Kathy has helped with a lot with that page and to make sure that it's going to be easily shared. So the scholarship, Facebook, 2 living ways that you can continue our love and our respect and our admiration for everything that YETTA has done here in Palm Beach County.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Jesus Armas. I'm principal here at John I. Leonard High School. I'm the 10th principal at John I. And here with us today, we have the 3rd principal of John I. ever. So, Mr. Luke Thornton, can you wave to everybody back there? There he is. The 3rd principal of John I. Leonard High School. This is John I. Leonard's 60th anniversary, and so we hope to have a couple of things throughout the year with celebrating our 60th anniversary, but tonight we're here celebrating YETTA. I started my career as a basketball coach, and I did that for 16 years before going over to the dark side and becoming an administrator, and I was an athletic director for 9 years, and I made the phone call, YETTA, I call, and this is YETTA. Hi, YETTA, it's Jesus. Oh, okay. YETTA, I need to make a change. And then hold the phone out here. Because I knew what was about to happen, right? But we've all said it. We all know it. What distinguished YETTA from everybody else wasn't the long hours, not the 52 years, not all of that. It's the genuine care and love that she had for every student, for athletics, and for this entire district. And really, it's unparalleled. It really has been in all these years that I've seen it. So I'm fortunate, of course, John I. Leonard is YETTA's home base, right? She was hired by, was it the first principal? Yes. Right? The first principal hired YETTA back, and I actually have, I'm sorry? Yeah, Adolph Mendelson, right. So and so she's been here, obviously, throughout almost all those 60 years, right, YETTA? And so we actually have a couple of articles I want to show you that talk about that. But so we wanted to give you a couple of things here. First of all, come on up. Where do I have? Let's see, I got a couple of John I. legends themselves. Jackie Burgess and Jim Howell. We've got, since you graduated this year, sort of into retirement, we've got a couple of class of 2025 tassels for you from John I. And for those of you who have been in the district any amount of time, you know these plaques, right? Those are the old conference plaques. And this one says YETTA GREENE, Godmother Athletics in Palm Beach County, 52 years of service. So there you go. And then we've got a t-shirt here for you, YETTA, that just says Godmother of Athletics, which is brilliant. But most importantly, and one announcement before I turn it back over to Pam, thanks to the superintendent who has been on board throughout the entire process. We've had meetings with former athletic directors. We've got 5 of the last athletic directors who have signed off on this. 4 of the last 5 principals have signed off on this. Our faculty at John I has signed off, our student body has, and so has our school advisory council. And so we'd like to announce that coming up here sometime this year, we'll be having a dedication ceremony for the YETTA J. GREENE Gymnasium. Everybody that I talked to about it, when I called them up and said, hey, we want to name the gym after YETTA, and everybody's like, well, of course, right? And everybody was on board. I've never seen anything like this, completely unanimous with everybody we talked to. So we'll be having a dedication ceremony. So we might get this group back together again for a dedication ceremony later in the year, and we want to thank Mr. Burke, who's been on board throughout the process, and it's his call, so thanks to him for making that call, right? Once again, thank you all for coming. We're going to turn it over just for Pam to close out, and maybe we can get YETTA to come up here and yell at us a little bit. All right, here we go.
I think we convinced her. I think she's coming.
Well, I can come up here and if I say I'm speechless, maybe that would make you almost happy, right? Not quite speechless yet, but I do want to thank everybody for everything. This is just beyond any thought that I ever had. Leonard is always special to me, but everything that I've done with athletics, I consider it an honor that you all have given to me to allow me to do it for this long. I just really appreciate all the cooperation and help, and it's not something one person can do, as they say. It takes a lot of convincing and all kinds of people to help out, and that's the help that I've had. If I hadn't had that, I wouldn't have been able to go this long, and help starts all the way at the very top of the superintendent's office. It goes to the school board and comes all the way down to the ground level with the teachers and students and their parents and volunteers and all the different groups who do everything. So I am well aware of what it takes. It takes everybody to work together, and that's what I see in this room, and I look forward to this continuing long after I'm gone, because it's the kind of spirit that the district needs. I appreciate you allowing me to take part in this and be as much a part for as long as I have. And any way I can help while I'm still around, just let me know. Again, I thank everybody from very top. Again, it can't be done without the help of the top, starting in the superintendent's office, going all the way down. And I'll tell you, another group it can't be done without is the custodians who close up and behind me and wait for me to die. That runs the entire gamut. So again, my sincere thank you for allowing me to do this, for hopefully helping the kids out, and you're being able to carry it on. That's my legacy, and I thank you for all of this.